Hello everyone, this is Overmind, and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. I'm excited because this is a TvZ from the Platinum League. I actually don't know who the submitter for this game was. I presume it will be the winner of the game. However, I have not watched all the way through to the end at this point. The only thing I really know about this game is that it is from the Platinum League, and it has theoretically a lot of back and forth action, which is what the replay title indicated to me. So, without further ado, let me go ahead and introduce our players. Spawning down on the bottom right side, in red we have our Terran player, Methodman, from Clan Bod. And spawning up at the top left side, in blue we have our Zerg player, Kara. Now, I'm gonna speed along just a little tiny bit, because we all sort of know what to expect for the first few moments of this game. However, I do want to talk about the map just a little bit, so maybe I will go ahead and slow it down, because I can carry on about this map. This is Foxtrot Labs, and this Overlord is currently flying over something that I can only imagine is put here to be a harassment ledge, that Reapers can run up and down, that units can get dropped on, that things can be hidden in. You'll note that these main bases are actually quite sizable, and there's lots of area that you can see that is completely in the dark and hidden from your own vision. Lots of dark, scary places in your own base, making it very easy for enemies to hide out in your base without you even knowing about it. So, also lots of open airspace you can see between here and here, that will allow players with air units or drops or what have you to fly on into your base and do terrible things to you. Kara is going to go ahead and expand here. Has the pool almost done, did go pool before hatch, which is totally fine. Seeing a little bit of scouting from our Zerg player, who has been trapped in the base and is going to hide in the back. Again, though, since there are lots of sort of dark spots in the vision, I have had Zerg players go proxy hatch in my own base on this very map before, so we'll see if any nonsense like that occurs. Does not look like it's gonna happen. Methodman with a Reaper shuts that right down in a splurt of blood, and in fact escapes with his Reaper out of his own little hop up and down back door area of this base. So as you can see, lots of ways to get in and out, which is not necessarily always to your advantage. Early game, I would actually say that this is incredibly useful for Zerg, for things like Reapers and drops. However, later in the game, Mutilous Harass could be very, very powerful, so we'll see if any of these things come into play. Kara's expansion is up. We have queens being produced, and Zerglings should be able to hold this off. Should be able to keep this from being too much of a problem. Might lose some Zerglings here. And of course, Methodman really shouldn't lose these Reapers, especially since they can hop up and down from the cliffs. However, I don't think he's going to get too much done. That drone saved itself by becoming a building, which is pretty much never a sentence that I thought I would say ever, but there we have it. Reapers are going to get a very nice look around the base. You see they run around, they see the pool, they see a decent amount of the base. These queens actually pretty beefy for units, incredibly slow off creep, of course. Harassment ledge coming into play. Zerglings might be able to trap here. Nope, nope, not quite. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness, that was scary. Queen decides not to give chase because she is way slow off creep, and there's lots of stuff going on here. However, I do want to note that both of these players, because they're in the Platinum League, are doing things back at home. There is a very, very early lair tech timing here. Kara likely feels a little bit of pressure from these Reapers and has decided not to go 3 base quickly and instead is going to go ahead and tech up. We also see speed being researched, which is going to help shut down this mess right here. Over here we see a command center is being built by Methodman. He has an orbital over here, so he's expanded once. We have Hellions being built. Looks like there is a little bit of a pause, but the game resumes and continues along. Hellions, not waiting for anyone, are being produced 2 at a time via a reactor and will head out across the map to continue this harassment. So the Reapers are not alone. A little bit of micro, pulling things back, but all of this micro is being done again while this macro is being done. Stims being started and researched. when we almost have speed done, almost have it done. Gonna help out a lot with this harassment. However, Hellions do, of course, roast things that line up, so if these get into the mineral line, lots of damage can be done. Additionally, if the Zerglings are not sort of spread out a little bit, lots of damage can be done there. Lots of loss to Zergling life and limb. As Methodman prepares to move forward, Queen's actually being pretty good at holding off these things. We'll see if this queen dies or not. Both of the queens are spread out pretty well so as not to take extra damage from the straight lines of fire, and repelled. Whew. Whew. Alright. We do have, of course, Evo chambers doing their upgrades, also positioned strategically so that they block off part of this section to help keep the Reaper Hellion harassment from being too much of a problem. And oh, the queen is dead in a horrific death. We see bits of Zerglings going everywhere. However, these Zerglings now have speed, which makes them way terrifying. Oh, there's nothing quite as horrifying as knowing that speed Zerglings are waiting outside your base to move in, because one quick run by and oh, there go all of your drones, all of your SCVs, all of your probes. It is a problem. Queen up here holding the front, and I think by and large this is going to wind up winding down pretty quickly. Pretty soon, here come the hero speed Zerglings to fend off the last of this attack. I think this is going to wrap up the poking about, and in fact there's the surround. And now Kara can take a large deep breath and relax for a moment. Stim is going to finish up right here, right now. Excellent. Lots of Widow Mines have been produced in lieu of producing additional Hellions. Rocks are being killed off. An expansion is in existence here, however is not saturated, of course. However, if you're Methodman, it's very nice to have the same number of expansions as our Zerg player. Our Zerg player floating a lot of money because of the early harassment, and is going to go ahead and drone up and macro up. However, you definitely want to be a base ahead of your opponent if you are a Zerg. Looks like the Spire is going to be the tech choice for Kara, and a macro hatch going down to help spend this money and produce additional larvae. So all of this very sound decision making happening here at our Zerg base, as well as happening over here at our Terran base, macroing up, making Marines, which are a decent unit to have, making Widow Mines, which can be incredibly deadly versus Zerg, especially with packs of Banelings or Zerglings running about. And I do believe that we do have a Baneling nest right here, researching upgrades, so we are going to have the capacity for Banelings to come out, and it looks like we have a drop. Methodman going to start with the drops very quickly, and there's drop number 1. I actually want to pause for a moment so that I can click that. 2 kills over here. And where's that other Widow Mine? Here we are. And 12 kills over here. The Sergeant Widow Mine. Excellent. Now we are going to have an Overseer. It'll be here in a moment. Should be able to wrap this up. However, the second drop is moving in. Widow Mine burrows. Gets 5 kills. And 6 kills. So lots and lots of drone kills here. All for the price of really 4 Widow Mines. The medevacs are going to evacuate out of there and leave those Widow Mines for dead. I'm actually interested to see if these go off again. I imagine Kara was paying attention and did notice that. Hopefully we'll move the Overseer over, and indeed, yep, totally fine. Totally okay, and in fact, Mutalisk. Now there's nothing wrong with having large numbers of Mutalisks if you are Zerg. It's going to be actually quite terrifying for things like this base here, which does not have a rally point set. So these SCVs are just going to sit around. However, a lot of damage could be done to this base by these looming demons of the sky, which come in and kill all workers all the time ever. Looks like Methodman considering pushing out, and definitely wants to either push out or go back and defend his base from the Mutalisks. Of course, Kara at this moment will realize that there is a force moving on in, especially since a Queen and an Overlord died, and Creep is being killed Always important to trim back the creep if you are playing versus zergs, so this is actually a very nice move here. Kills several queens that were responsible for spreading creep. Little drop in the main base, again making good use of this airspace. Looks like the queen does die. Might get an extractor kill, kills several drones. The Mutalisks have pulled back. And in fact, I want to go ahead and note that the reason the Mutalisks pulled back and aren't attacking Methodman at this very moment is because defense needed to happen in the main. Additional troops here for Methodman right at the front. However, the drop has been cleaned up a bit. And Methodman, when he was in the main base, did see the banelings, so going to, looks like, try and split apart his marines a bit better, which is, of course, a good thing to do if you are concerned about all of your marines dying at once to banelings, which is exactly what will happen if you aren't careful. Single zerglings going in, trying to detonate these mines, not having too much luck just yet. However, Methodman wants to be very careful since, in fact, mines can do damage to your own units if you let them. And it looks like no one's moving. Kara definitely wants to make more banelings, and in fact is also producing additional zerglings, so most droning has stopped. Looks like she is going to move on in. Lots of damage going down, however those banelings did not do as much as they could have, certainly if Methodman was a bit more clumped together. Not sure that Kara is getting as much of a trade-in value as she could for this amount of banelings. These units getting picked up and moved about, and the Mutalisks have arrived. Several medevacs being picked off, this one filled with units. However, there is a supplemental army moving on up. Mutalisks retreat. And lots of damage going down just by Methodman stimming. However, he is able to pick these units up and drop them back down, which saves them from the zerglings. Of course, it does not save them from the Mutalisks, which finally do clean this up. Over here we have 2 command centers being thrown down. Possible double expand from Methodman. However, I don't think he really has enough workers to justify double expanding at this point, unless he just really, really wants to have more bases than a Zerg player, which, hey, if you can get away with it, I mean, why not? Looks like flyer upgrades are going to begin for our Zerg player, and a bunch more banelings are being produced. Looks like this particular command center is going to be a planetary fortress once it has fully upgraded to help defend this base, and possibly a good idea to build these additional defenses, especially these missile turrets for the Mutalisks, because as these bases get spread about, Methodman will have a very difficult time moving about across the map, while Kara can duck in and out with Mutalisks and Zerglings and run all about the map. Zerg, of course, being quite mobile, so can take advantage of the late game in that way. Additional Mutalisks are being produced en force, and lots of banelings as well, just to make sure that that bio army is taken care of. More drops creeping out across the map for Methodman. Is this close enough? I actually want to see if this is close enough. Kara sees it. Yep. Alright, so we have that moving out across the map. Kara probably knows that something's up, because in the Platinum League you know to look at your mini-map early and often. This base is just sort of establishing itself now. Drones are being transferred over here. However, most of the army is in sort of a central position to be able to defend attacks from wherever they might come from. Drops creep slowly across the map. Methodman making his move. And Queen dies. I don't know if this is going to be worth it for him. Alright, he got a queen. And he frightened his Zerg opponent. Methodman possibly not making as much use of that drop as he could have, but it's alright. It's alright. Definitely just want to keep your opponent on their toes. Do want to go ahead and note that at this time a hive is just about done, so can get ultralists at some point, which are really great against a ground army. Additional drops going out by Methodman, however, as they're being spotted by these nice overlord positions, just decides to kill them because can't scout with your overlords if all of your overlords are dead. And that is one of the official sayings of the Terran player. Kill overlords all the time. Widow mines galore, uprooting themselves and heading out with the rest of the army. And Kara actually playing this a bit more passive than I would really like. I suppose Kara has been attacked a decent number of times in this game and probably doesn't want to push out and attack themselves because then might be out of position. However, I think being mobile and using that mobility on this map, especially as we head into the late game and have all of these mutalisks and zerglings available for run-bys and other such nonsense, is probably a good idea. Ultralisk Cavern just finishing up. And at this point, looks like we have 74 drones, which is a perfectly respectable number of drones. However, we might need more in a moment as Methodman moves in to engage, and in fact, target fires the base, killing much of it, burrowing many a Widow Mine. However, Banelings are running on in, and it's complete chaos in this fray. We see lots of Marines dying, lots of Banelings detonating. We see many a kill from this Widow Mine. And Mutalisks are still here. Mutalisks cleaning it up. And there are a non-zero number of Marines, however, it's not a very high number. Oh, Widow Mine gets a single kill, so not great for that Widow Mine. I think these Mutalisks should be able to clean up all of this, getting all those medevacs, letting the Marauders retreat. Which is sort of unfortunate. I suppose we do feel bad for the Marauders. Marauders, in fact, have very large, powerful guns and do not have the will to aim upwards, so we'll just go ahead and let them retreat back. It's totally fine. We do still have something here for Methodman, I believe. No? Oh, yep, Widow Mines. Oh my. Not quite within range. Oh, Widow Mine's going off all over the place. 6 kills there. Ooh, which one? 35 kills! Did you guys see that? Alright, we're backing up. That was a 35 kill Widow Mine. There, right there. 35 kills. Commander Widow Mine is in fact sadly taken out. However, 35 kills being completely a significant number of kills. And the Widow Mine corpse is dragged up over there. This army is going to head on around and kill these Widow Mines. However, the observers, or excuse me, the overseers are a little bit slower than the rest of the army. This Widow Mine is like, nope, 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 burrow. Does not quite make it. So Methodman doing a good job in making use of his units and positioning them well, and Kara not quite getting rid of those Widow Mines quick enough to prevent them from doing a lot of damage. Granted, I think a lot of that was Zerglings, but still. 35 kills. Oh my. Now Methodman is getting close to maxed. I actually want to go ahead and look at the army supply. We see the worker supply is close, the army supply slightly in Methodman's favor. However, we do have ultralisks and mutalisks in here, so lots of the very scary ending in lisk units being present in Kara's army. Single changeling gonna go in and scout over here. Kara taking the gold expansion, expanding again, definitely a good idea. Our Terran player does not have his Widow Mines burrowed, but could be planning on moving out very soon, especially since he's just gotten maxed. Oh, loads up a drop with many a Marauder. However, our Zerg army is sneaking around this side. Terran army is... engages a small batch of Zerglings. Kills off Banelings before they hit the main army. Oh my. Alright. Widow Mine's burrowing to help keep any Banelings from sneaking up on the rest of this army. We have the Zerg army pulling back. At this point, Kara is almost maxed as well, and in fact can just begin throwing units at the opponent, because once you hit this level as Zerg, you can certainly afford to spare a few of them. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Did you guys see that? Oh, the Widowmine got all of those Mutalisks. We're gonna watch it again. So I'll pause to make note of the fact that there's a drop in the main base with 4 Marauders. However, the big ticket item here is going to be these Widowmines. Oh, all of them. And several Ultralisks die. Widowmines detonating all over the place. These infestors getting a very good fungal down on this army. However, there aren't too many big attacking units left after those Widowmine detonations, and it's very close. And the Terran has it, and in fact this drop is going much better than expected. Looks like there are only 3 Marauders at this point. However, oh no, there is a 4th here. So he's just going to go ahead and target fire down this hive, and it's going to be very, very unfortunate if Kara loses it, and in fact does. The drop gets picked up, only 1 Marauder looks like he's going to die, and now there's no hive. And there's 1 less production building for Zerg. Oh man, mass damage going on from our Terran player with those Widowmines. Mass damage going on from very small drops, and this is not something that Kara can really afford to have happen. Methodman maxed out again. Kara only at 117 per food. Oh, a second building is going to fall, and this is huge if you are Zerg. You do not want to lose your hatcheries because they are also your production buildings. Units try and escape and are being torn apart in the process. Methodman decides to take another expansion. Takes the gold. Why not? Oh, the drones. The drones just march into their death. Banelings coming in. Fungal goes down. Alright. Our Terran player still has it. There was lots of damage that happened there. It was very scary for a moment. However, I think this might go to our Terran player. Marching across the map. We do have an Ultralist. We do have an Infestor. Looks like a drop might come down over here. However, this building will fall, and that is the main crux of the action as Kara loses the ability to make things. Has almost no money to make things. Methodman has plenty of money to make lots of things forever and ever. These drones dying. And Kara decides to make a last run of it. Good fungal, very good fungal goes down. Additional very good fungals on this army. However, I think this is just going to be too much for Kara as additional units stream across the map. We have this drop over here deciding to lift up and put his units on the other side of the mineral line, as the mineral line does actually block the Expo from being harmed as much as it could from units walking across that path. And lots of infestors. However, fungal doesn't do that much damage. More importantly, it slows things down. Additional infested Terrans being popped on in. However, these Terrans are not infested and are super mad, are going to go ahead and get the GG, and there's the end of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I know who the submitter was now. Gonna assume it's Methodman. Thank you very much, Methodman, for voluntarily being on the show. Thank you, Kara, for involuntarily being on the show. And if in fact Kara was the submitter, then thank you in reverse. In any case, I'm very happy to have casted this game. There was lots of back and forth as advertised, and of course lots of scary units from both of these players. High tech, long before you would usually expect to see it in, say, a bronze, silver, gold game. So lots of good stuff going on. Yeah, just lots of excitement. Excellent. So I had fun casting. I hope you guys had fun watching. If anyone out there would like to see me cast one of your games, go ahead and send it to NoobCrafted@gmail.com, and I'll go ahead and put it up on my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and have a good night.